guys, Ralph here, and welcome to True Power Trumpet Fitness on wonderful Wednesday here in Connecticut. Life's good, man. This is a late one. I've had some very busy day, and this sucker may not get up until 5 o'clock, which is late for me. Usually I try to get him up early afternoon. Anyway, students, crazy. Books, mouthpieces, going to the post office, unbelievable. Anyway, you saw the thumbnail. Practicing in the morning. That is an issue for some players. A big issue for some players. And I know firsthand friends of mine that have issues with that. It used to be an issue for me. It absolutely not anymore, but we'll get to it. Now, here's the deal. I have not, because of the schedule, I have not practiced this morning. So I should be fresh as a daisy, right? Let's see what we got, and then we'll talk about practicing in the morning. Maybe I should practice in the morning more often. That was easy as could be. Hellacious. Double C's and Artman Characteristics Study number 6. Just as easy as can be. Guys, I was barely holding the horn. Now, practicing in the morning. I've always practiced in the morning. Not that for a long time I didn't have trouble warming up, because I did. In the younger days, I absolutely did. But here's the deal. I just wanted to play so much. When I was in college and when the first several years of my career, I was not married, I didn't have kids. The first thing I wanted to do was get that trumpet up to my lips. I tell you, I was Doc Severinsen obsessed. Doc Severinsen obsessed. I had to play. And sometimes it was not pretty. Sometimes it was difficult. I got the hang of it after a while. But I remember, I was practicing all day and then playing at night. So, I mean, there is lots of days for a long period of time that I was playing about 10, 12 hours a day. Loved every minute of it. But many times, if the job went late at night and I was up, practicing first thing in the morning, sometimes it came that my chops hadn't even swelled yet, believe it or not. And that was nothing to it. Now, that was fool's gold because I needed it. But I told you many times, I did a lot of church work when I was in New York. And you do a late job that night and you have a mass at 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning, man, after playing a late date on Saturday night. Sometimes I lived up by the cloisters. I was literally get up, bundle up in my jacket and everything, and go down into the cloisters, which is the woods, a park, and get my practicing done in the woods. I couldn't practice it, 6 o'clock in the morning in the apartment, New York apartment. That's how addicted I was to the practice. Now, as I told you, I know lots of guys, excellent players, and one in particular with extraordinary chops. And if I told you his name, every one of my subscribers say, "Oh, really? Okay." He doesn't even bother with it. He just cuts that out of his life. He does not, unless he's getting paid handsomely. He does not take a job in the morning, and he will not play until early to mid-afternoon if he can. Now, that's not a big deal to him. He is basically a Broadway player, which is all at night, and the recording artist. So, there's not a whole lot going on first thing in the morning in either of the genres, all right? Wednesday or Saturday matinee is the earliest, and many times he would sub those out because he didn't feel like dealing with the chop thing. Now, his chops were incredible. I think he could have done it very easily, but he wanted the path of least resistance when it came to warming up. Other guys just really, like I did, doing crazy stuff to get the warm up done. And that. Now, I started with Jerry when I first moved to New York. They'd almost coincide, both of them, okay? So the first thing he ever said to me was relax the corners, okay? And the more you can relax the corners, guys, the less you have to warm up. It's just as simple as that. It just makes everything easier. You're not using the mouthpiece pressure. And guys, trouble warming up in the morning is nothing more than swollen lips. I mean, it just is. I know guys that, will literally soak their lips before they go to bed tonight. They'll cover it with goop and Vaseline to keep the stiffness out, and then they'll soak them in the morning if they have an early job. I mean, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Now, again, I'm not doing the brutal stuff at night. I'll give you that. Okay? Even if I was, I would not have a big problem. I do no warm-up whatsoever, and sometimes I'm up at 8 o'clock in the morning doing these things so I can get them if I have a busy afternoon. No problem with the warm-up. Okay? Now, I will say this. One caveat, I will say this. I do a lot, even if I have an early video, I'm always working out beforehand, in which case I am spit buzzing and I am doing my SFE. You want to call that a warm-up, which you could. Absolutely could, then yes, I warm up every single day before I play, if you want to say that, okay? Today, I had several health and fitness clients and I did a lot of SFE, okay? But guys, that is what it is. Now, what do you do when you play in the morning and it's just stiff as a board and you have to make it work? Guys, it's simple. You stick to what got you to the dance, okay? Relax the corner, thick tongue, no air, and stay in the happy zone. Now, every single time when I practice, get a practice session, and no matter how long or short it may be, and then I take a break, I always feel better coming back. An hour, 2 hours later or something like that. Okay, so you can get a half an hour in, say your job's at 11 o'clock, okay? If you get a half in at 8:30 or 9, by the time 11 o'clock comes around, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine, especially if you're playing like we are. Now, if you're tightening up your chops, if you're using your pencil, and if you're using your gadgets, and your guys, Doc Severinsen need minimum 3 hours. He admits it. I'm not making this up. Minimum 3 hours to turn into Doc Severinsen. And what's that all about? Every single bit of it was to relax the chops. Now, he admits, since he was a kid, when he's studying with Betty Baker, he's been tightening the corners. And every single thing he does is to try to loosen it up, what he's done. The tightening he's done before. So that's that. But, as I said, I know lots of guys that will not even do that unless gun to their head, job, they can't turn down the money, whatever the case may be. They won't deal with morning chops. Won't deal with it. And there's something to be said for that. If you can take away the swelling and everything and then just sit down at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and boom, you feel great, you get more work done, as opposed to torturing yourself at 9 o'clock in the morning, there's something to be said for that. As I said, I was just so maniacally addicted to it, I couldn't wait till 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay? And it's today, between the spit buzzing and the SFE, I've done a lot. So if you want to say, he warmed up, go ahead, have at it. Anyway, that's that. You figure out your own routine. I would just say stick with what got you to the dance, which is our 3 principles. Stay in the happy zone. Now, in the morning, if the happy zone is smaller, no big deal. If your happy zone is a high C, and all of a sudden you wake up one day in the morning and the A, you can't get to the high C without straining. Don't play the high C if you're straining. Just stay in your happy zone. It will come out. Lots of rest, lots of spit buzzing, SFE. SFE, as you know, hyperradiation, takes the stress off the chops and puts it in the rest of the body. You'll be fine. And again, the more you do this, morning chops are not going to be a problem. You're going to play in the morning and you're going to enjoy it just as you do in the afternoon. All right? Anyway, eat and drink fruits and vegetables and live your life with true power. Not the fake stuff, true power. Love you all.